Hey guys, welcome to this section where we're going to talk about pips. So pips is very important, very basic, yet many people find it hard, but I'm going to simplify this for you, and in the next few minutes, you're going to fully grasp what pips are. My remarks. Under this section, we're going to learn how we use this basic concept of pips in the market in order to make money. Many people struggle with understanding this simple concept, but I'm going to simplify it as much as I can. Note, do not continue to any other section until you have fully understood the concept of pips, because pips is basically the build-up of everything you're going to understand in the Forex market. It builds up to be able to understand what candlesticks are, market patterns, and all that. So understand pips at the very basic level, and you'll be able to understand the rest. So pips. A pip is the smallest unit in price for any given currency pair. A pip is abbreviation for percentage in point. So the PIP basically means percentage in point. For example, Euro USD is priced at 1.1543 level. The fourth decimal place in this case is the 0.0003 level, is known as the pip. So this last smallest point, okay, is known as the pip. So you can see this image I've kept over here. The last decimal place over here is known as the pip. So it's basically the fourth decimal. It's the smallest unit in a price for any given pair. So this is the pip level. If this was a 4, this could be the pip level. If market moves up a certain number of pips, we normally count from this level. So we'll get straight into that. Adding pips. If Euro USD moves up by 1 pip, it means adding 1 to the fourth decimal point. So 1.1543 plus 0.0001, which will basically add up to 1.1544. So you add 1 to the last smallest unit in price, which will give you 1.1544. So those are the pips. So the pip is the fourth decimal place that you want to be looking for. Adding additional pips. So additionally, if Euro USD moves up in price by 55 pips, so this is not now 1 pip, but by 55 pips, so taking two numbers, okay, two whole numbers, it means adding 55 to the fourth decimal point, which is 1.1543 plus 0.0055, which will basically give you a sum of 1.1598. So basically you can see we've added 55 to the last digit mark here, which has added up to these two numbers, giving us the 1.1598. And lastly, if Euro USD moves up in price by 122, so I've taken three whole numbers, pips, it means adding 122 to the fourth decimal place. So you're adding in respect to the fourth decimal place if the market moves up 122 pips. So you can see 1.1543 plus 0.0122, which will basically give you a sum of 1.1665 level. So taking that, if market moves up 1,000 pips, you basically add that with respect to the last decimal place. I'm sure you're understanding what I'm saying. So subtracting pips. Conversely, if Euro USD moves down in price by 1 pip, it means subtracting 1 from the fourth decimal point, which is 1.1543 minus 0.0001, which will basically give you a sum of 1.1542. So same thing, just as adding, now you're subtracting from the last price in respect to the last decimal place. Additionally, if Euro USD moves down in price by 43 pips, it means subtracting 43 in respect to the fourth decimal place, which will basically give you this. So subtracting 1.1543 minus 0.043 will basically give you that. Lastly, if Euro USD moves down in price by 103 pips, it means subtracting 103 in respect to the fourth decimal point. 1.1543 minus 0.0103 equals 1.1440. So basically that's what you're looking at. That's the difference. So you're looking at that whenever market is moving in either direction. That's what you want to be doing, adding and subtracting with respect to the fourth decimal point. I'm pretty sure by now you understand the gist of it, so I'm sure you're understanding what I'm saying and how we count pips with respect to whether it moves up or down. Understanding pips will help you understand the charts much better when we get to the section of charts, okay? However, it is important to note that the fourth decimal does not apply to all currency pairs. For example, GBP JPY is quoted as 150.55. In this case, the second decimal is considered as the pip for this pair, okay? So note, this is 150.55. So this fifth decimal place, this 5 number, which is the second decimal place, is considered as the pip. So that is the difference between a pair such as GBP JPY and Euro USD, okay? In order to fully grasp this, pay attention that both Euro USD, which is 1.1543, and the GBP JPY, which is 150.55, all have one thing in common. They all have 5 numbers in total. Most pairs will be this way, except for a few minor pairs such as NZD JPY and commodities such as gold and oil and other indices such as Dow Jones, but we'll get into that later. For now, understand this. So if you count this, you'll see that the whole numbers are 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Same thing as GBP JPY, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Therefore, taking the first number on the left and counting 4 numbers to the right, then you will land on the pip of each currency pair. So if you take this, okay, this is your first number and this is your first number. Then count 4 from there, okay? So if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, you get your pip number, okay? Same thing with this one. This is your whole number. Count 4 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is how you get your pip number, okay? So that is Euro USD and GBP JPY. Therefore, adding 10 pips to GBP JPY at 150.55, you will get 150.55 plus 0.10, which is 10 pips, okay, in this case, which will give you an addition of 150.65. So you added 10 pips to this number, you got that, and I'm sure you understand what I'm saying. And conversely, if you subtract 10 pips from GBP JPY at 150.55, you will get 150.55 minus 0.10. That will give you an addition, a subtraction of 150.45. So just subtracting, same thing as addition, but now conversely, you're subtracting and you'll get that. Okay, I'm sure you understand the gist of it. So other examples, just to look at different other examples and how different they are, just as I mentioned earlier, gold and NZD JPY are quite different. So if you take an example for Aussie dollar USD, that one is basically counting the 4th pip from the decimal place. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So this 2, the 0.0002 will give you the pip level. So if you're counting pips, you're counting from this level. But when it comes to gold, this one is quite different. Yours start at 0.5, but it's almost the same thing if you count 4 numbers to the right. So taking this as your whole and you count 1, 2, 3, 4, you get your decimal point, and this is where we start counting the pip number. So at the 0.5 is where we start. But when it comes to NZD JPY, we only have 4 numbers in total. We don't have a 5th one. So even if you take this and count 1, 2, 3, you don't land to a 4, you land to the 3rd one. But when it comes to NZD JPY, we take that as our pip number, okay? So note that NZD JPY, when the number is in 4, we take the last one as our pip number. Same thing comes when it comes to US oil and dollar index, DXY. So you'll see more of this when we start going into the charts, but this is just an introduction to give you an understanding of how we count the pips. So 65.54, same thing, we take the 4th as the decimal, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, which is the 0.04, that is where we start counting our pip level. Dollar index, same thing, 91.56, we take the 0.06, okay? But when it comes to Dow Jones, now this one is more deeper. We'll get into more of this later on, but this one is more of a whole number. You see Dow Jones currently is trading at the 30,355. So the 5th one is the pip value where it starts. Same thing, you take this as a whole, then you count 1, 2, 3, 4. you get your pip level. So that's how we count that, and that's how we normally count pips when it comes to the forex market. Conclusion: with more practice and more examples as we continue on in the course, you'll get the hang of it. So this is very simple, but as everything in life, you need practice and time, and you'll easily understand the concept of pips. Okay. Hello traders, you have just completed the basics of forex trading. To advance your trading career, you need to learn advanced technical analysis, risk management, and the psychology of trading. So buy our legendary advanced course and develop these trading skills. As a legendary student, you will get one-on-one access to our mentors, a copy of our course book, over 30 hours of trading content, and you'll get funding of $1,200 to kickstart your trading career. So click the links below to begin.